Hi, welcome to this walkthrough of the Battlestations Pacific demo. In this walkthrough I'll be taking you through the Divine Winds of Leyte level and giving you an idea of what you'll be up to in this mission and the full game. Here we can see the mission objective screen. We've got our primary objectives on the left to defend our aircraft carrier and then to destroy the shipyards in the area. There are also secondary objectives that appear throughout the mission and even hidden objectives for those that are really skilled. The unit selection screen shows us which units are available for this mission, and we can cycle up and down through them on the D-pad. And lastly, we've the difficulty selection screen. Here you can pick from rookie or regular, but in the full game you'll be able to pick the hardest difficulty, veteran.
Our situation is bad. Third Fleet's gone north, chasing enemy flat tops. And we're back here, trying to suppress the Japanese on our own.
Incoming plane, sir. It's not a dive bomber. I don't know what it is. It's really moving, though. It's coming in at a strange angle, too.
I have a bad feeling about this. Something's not right. Battlestations, now!
In this mission we're thrown into the thick of the action, a kamikaze attack on my carrier fleet, and it's up to me, in charge of this cruiser, to make sure those planes don't get through. If you look over to the left there, you can see that one of my carriers has just been hit by some planes and is already sinking.
Large explosion, sir. We're assessing the damage.
The Japanese are desperate. We should have expected something like this. Planes packed with explosives diving straight at us. Unbelievable. There's a high risk of follow-up attacks. Shoot down everything that's coming our way.
So here my job is to take out the kamikaze planes that are heading towards our fleet, using the flak cannons on my cruiser. I can look around using the right stick and use the right trigger to fire. Clicking down on the right stick zooms me into binocular view for some precision shooting.
Target aircraft have been neutralized, sir.
Up in the top right of the screen you can see the mini-map, and here it helps me see where all the kamikazes are coming from. Anything red is Japanese and anything blue is Allies. In Battlestations Pacific we've enhanced the targeting system to make it easier to select the targets that you want to hit. Tapping A will select the nearest enemy, and pressed again will cycle through other close enemies, whilst holding A will select a lock-on to the closest enemy to my crosshair. We're also giving you more information on each target now. If you look closely you can see their name and their damage level, and with so many enemies it helps you know who to shoot first. I've just been hit by 2 planes there and suffered some critical damage, and I need to repair that quickly or I'll sink. I can bring up the repair menu by clicking down on the left stick and then tilting it to the correct damage type before I let go. There's water, fire, engine or weapons damage, and each has a different impact. Here, as you'll see, I have weapons damage.
Alright, I got me another.
You can see my secondary objectives just popped up there. If I click down on the right stick here, I can get some precision shooting on this anti-aircraft installation.
We've located an enemy airfield, sir. Flatten it.
Enemy aircraft incoming. Enemy squadron destroyed, sir.
Okay, so we've successfully defended the carrier fleet from the kamikaze attack, so I'm going to jump into the cockpit of this US Helldiver plane and flatten that airfield. I can use the right stick to bank, climb or dive, or I can speed up or down using the left stick as the throttle. The left stick can also be used as a rudder to move me left and right, and just as before the right trigger fires. Up ahead there on the island you can see the airfield hangar I need to bomb. Bombing runs in Battlestations Pacific are as simple to pull off as shooting a plane out of the sky. Holding down on the left trigger will bring up the aiming reticule, and pressing the right trigger will release the bomb. If I keep the right trigger held down I can get a bomb cam so I can be sure I got a direct hit.
Good work, Airman. One less place for them to use.
Okay, so now I've destroyed the airfield hangar, I've got another objective. The island's got 3 shipyards on it, and each of these are putting out PT boats, which are a real threat to my fleet. It's my job here to destroy those shipyards. I'm going to jump into the cockpit here of this Corsair fighter, and you can see on its wings there, it's equipped with rockets. And this is the ideal tool for the job.
He's gone. Enemy ship confirmed sunk.
Okay, I'm just going to jump into the map screen a second by pressing the back button. I can zoom using the triggers, and you can see on the left here and on the right that there's 2 of the shipyards marked. If I move the cursor over to a target with the left stick and press A, you'll see a red arrow appear. Now this means that my selected units will go and attack those targets. Coming out of the map screen and back into my Corsair, you can see the first shipyard up ahead. The rockets on my plane fire in a straight line, so I've really got to be careful with my aiming here. I launched them just like I did with the bombs in the previous plane, by holding down the left trigger and pressing the right trigger to fire. Once I'm out of rockets, I can switch to any of the other planes in my squadron simply by pressing left or right on the D-pad, or if I want to stay with my plane, the rockets will replenish over time. I can tell just how soon they'll restock by looking at the icons near my crosshair, and when they've swept to green and lit up, I can fire again.
A job well done. And no more PT boat threats.
There's a huge enemy ship in visual, sir. Yamato class. She's steaming your way.
If that thing gets close enough to fire those guns at us, we're a dead duck.
Now that I've destroyed the airfield and all the shipyards, there's only one final objective left, and that's to sink this giant battleship, the Musashi. I've got a squadron of torpedo bombers to achieve this, and torpedo bombers inflict a great deal of damage, but they require skill in order to land a hit. If I select my torpedo and drop it from this height, you'll see that it simply explodes when it hits the water, so I need to get far closer to the surface so the torpedo will travel. Using the D-pad, I'll switch to one of my other torpedo planes and head off on an attack run. I can get a good idea of when it's safe to drop my torpedo by simply looking at the indicator on the crosshair reticule. Firing the torpedo works much the same as it does on the rockets and the bombs. Hold the left trigger to select and press the right trigger to fire, or hold the right trigger for a torpedo cam. As I get closer to the ship, we can also see different areas to target, the engine, magazine and fuel sections of the ship, and the damage I inflict depends on where I hit. Hitting a ship's engine, for instance, will sometimes stop it dead in the water, or at least slow it down, making it an easier target for the rest of my squadron. To land even one torpedo successfully, I'll need to weave through anti-air flak and fire ahead of the target. Torpedoes do a great deal of damage so long as they hit the key areas of the ships, and even the Musashi can be sinking after about 4 successful hits.
Blown them out of the sky, sir. Enemy air forces are inbound. Musashi is going to the bottom.
Mighty fine work. They don't come bigger than that. And our boys came through for us. Makes you proud.
Enemy aircraft incoming. Enemy taken out.
It was a close call, though. The 3rd Fleet better have a good reason for not being here for this one. This should have been their fight.
So the mission was a success, and on the debriefing screen I can see just how well I've done and what kind of score I've achieved. In the full game, I can replay missions to achieve higher rankings and achieve all the secondary and hidden objectives, earning medals and unlocking units along the way. I can also replay each mission to go back and complete those secondary objectives that I missed the first time around, and trying to find all the hidden objectives. I hope you've enjoyed this short walkthrough of Battlestations Pacific, and we really hope to see you in the heat of the battle this May.